Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for coming today. We really appreciate you coming in this cold weather, but I'm sure you will all be warmed up very much after the event, or during the event especially. So my name is Mariko, and I am working at Happy Science in a temple downtown in Tribeca, where we do Sunday workshops and meditations and things like that. And we handed out some of the information. So we rented this space sometimes maybe every 2 or 3 months to do a bigger open workshop. And so I'm Mariko, and this is...
I'm Yushi.
A little more about yourself.
I'm the minister for the New York Temple in Tribeca. Hello, everyone. All right. How's the temperature in the room? Is it good? Good? All right. Thank you so much for joining us. And as an introduction, Mariko will be telling us why we chose this topic today.
So we chose this topic because, number one, it's one of the newest books that our founder, Master Okawa, has published this year. And also because this phrase, I can, is so powerful. So we want to go in depth and we can explore how powerful this is. In this day and age, there's a lot of depression, a lot of people who feel hopeless. They don't know what the future holds. There's even in our society, we have mental illness is very, a huge topic these days. Suicide, school shootings happening. So this is a topic that touches everybody, no matter how big or how small. So we believe that, this is a material world, but unless we fight spiritually, we can't get over certain problems. They keep happening. So we really need to address these issues on a spiritual level, because it's really, really tough out there, and we need this spiritual backbone these days. And, the word I can is so, so simple, but the effects of this simple phrase, is so serious because of these issues that we face every day. It's very simple, but it's so serious how it can help you and save you. So I hope that you can take this really dear to your heart and use it from today onwards. And also, this book is like a Bible of self-help. It's very powerful, even for, the laws of attraction is very popular these days too. And it really starts simply. So we will, talk more in depth about, how this phrase works. And, honestly, this energy we all have inside of us. And it is such a waste not to use it. So we will feel guilty, if we don't tell you how to use it, because everyone has the right, because you all have it. You have the right to be happy, and that it starts with you. The power is in you, but we just don't know how to bring it out, right? Because, we face different things every day. We get over one problem, another one happens again, right? So we really need this spirit more than ever. So that's why we really want to share this topic with you.
And just one thing that I wanted to add, the author, Master Ryuho Okawa, in the preface of this book, he states clearly that if you thoroughly read this book, your success rate will increase tenfold. So I know that the people who are here today, you all have a very important mission in this era, in this age, where materialism is rampant. But you're all here today because you are inclined to spirituality and faith. And these are the type of people that need to become more successful. And what I mean by successful is not just the material success, but a success for your soul, for a success for your soul's journey. And what I mean by that is to increase the power of your influence of love. Therefore, I believe that this workshop is a beginning of a spiritual revolution, a happiness revolution to this city and for the United States of America. And each and every one of you, even though I am talking big, you are the main characters of making this world a utopian place. So together today, I would like to go in depths of this teaching so that we can all increase the power of our faith, of our love, and of our spirituality. So thank you all so much for coming today.
Yes, and we will start, we will show a video about what is Happy Science and what we do and who Master Okawa is. But quite simply, Happy Science is trying to teach people a spiritual perspective. Because if you have a spiritual perspective, you can see the world as it really is. We live in a material world. We only see one side of it, 180 degrees. But if we see it in a spiritual perspective, we see the whole thing. We see our happiness, sadness, success, failures in a different way. That is why it's so important to have a spiritual perspective, and that is what Happy Science is trying to teach the world today. So let's get started and explain who is Master Okawa.
Can someone hit the lights? On the right side.
Hello, and thank you for accepting our invitation to happiness. Ryuho Okawa is known as a global visionary because of his deep spiritual insight and commitment to guide the world to a brighter future. To accomplish this, he founded Happy Science Group in 1986, which is now a global movement in over 100 countries. His vision and message to the world goes beyond the differences of race and language, empowering people with love.
What is happiness at Happy Science? The happiness taught at Happy Science is a unique happiness, which carries from this world to the other. We reside in a physical body, but we are in essence a spiritual being. There is more to this world than what we can see with our eyes. Beyond this physical world is a vast multidimensional spirit world. A large part of it is what we know as heaven. We are born numerous times, reincarnating between this world and the spirit world. Every single one of us was born from the heavenly world. Over the course of our lives, we meet various people, experience joys and sorrow, grow older, and then we return to the home of our souls. Why are we born into this world repeatedly? The reason is to go through life and come out shining even brighter, through accomplishing our missions and gaining new knowledge on Earth. And learning the truth at Happy Science is exactly what teaches us how. One method is through the fourfold path, which is love, wisdom, self-reflection, and progress. Love is to share love and joy without expecting anything in return. Most of life's suffering is actually caused by not being able to receive the love and joy we want from others. But this is a mindset of taking away happiness. The way to become truly happy is to think not about how you can get more love and happiness from others, but to switch your mindset to always thinking about how you can share it instead. The reason is because when you can view this spiritually, God's light shines upon those who practice the act of giving. Wisdom is to study the truth. Studying the truth will allow you to know the principles of the mind, acquire a spiritual view of life, and learn what is right and what is wrong in God's eyes. When you not only study the truth, but put it into practice, knowledge will transform into wisdom and become a part of you. And it is wisdom that allows you to find the answers and solutions to problems you couldn't solve in the past. Self-reflection is God's mercy. We all make mistakes, but when we self-reflect, examine our past mistakes and repent on them, our sins are forgiven. Humans make mistakes, but through self-reflection, God gives us the chance to start over again. Progress is to improve your soul and make it shine brilliantly. It is also to share the truth in order to help other people shine from their souls and together turn our society, nation, and world into an ideal place. What you just heard is only a portion of the vast teachings here at Happy Science. Happy Science offers many paths for people living in modern society to become happier.
Okay, that girl is everywhere.
Yes, she is.
Speaking of that girl and the beginning, the TV show, we had a TV show, right? Last, 2 years ago, Invitation to Happiness. And you can see all 16 episodes on our website.
And the link to that website is in the handouts that we passed out today. So it's 16 episodes, 30 minutes each, plenty of a lot of truth to learn from. So we hope you watch the video after today's seminar.
Yes. So let's get started. So the whole rundown of today's program will be split up in 4 parts. We're going to start with watching Master Okawa's lecture one by one, and then we'll discuss each topic. And then we're going to talk about the power of the subconscious mind. What is the surface and what is the subconsciousness? And then we're going to talk about the power of sutra. A sutra is like a prayer. And we're going to introduce a very, very powerful new sutra that we have at Happy Science. And then we're going to do a meditation, a short but very, very powerful meditation guided by Master Okawa, and I will read you the English translation. So let's get started.
All right, so we're gonna get started. So just a thing to add, we're gonna be watching Master Okawa's lecture that he gave called I Can, but it's a 30-minute lecture, so we broke it into 3 parts. And each part is about 4 to 6 minutes long. And after each part, we're going to be doing a little bit of explanation so that you can dissect these teachings. And before we begin, one point that I would like to make is the simplicity of the truth and the power of the simplicity. Right, Mariko?
Yes. As we said, I can is a very, very simple phrase. But do not underestimate this power. Your subconscious mind, as we will explain, can really absorb things in a simple manner, especially when it's backed by faith. And that's the whole point of today's seminar. So beautiful things, wonderful things come very simply, actually. And we really want to express the power in simplicity. Sometimes we think about our problems, overcomplicate them, they become bigger, and then we can't deal with it. But when we break them down and simply say, I can get over it, you can literally get over it. Miracles happen. So we want all of you to go home with this power that you already have. This day and age, we're flooded with information on the news, on the internet, on our phones. So being flooded like this makes our minds very, very complicated. So we want to remove that noise, remove that stress, and just really go back to the basics.
All right, so let's first watch the video clip. It's 4.5 minutes.
I choose the theme, I can, the key to life's golden secret. This is a magical word. Historically, it's a magical word. We religious people were known about this word. It has a magical power in it. So you must know the secret. It's a key to life's golden secret and success. So things are changeable by how you think about that. So be careful. This is a real secret and a real key to solve your problem in your life. Okay. Firstly, I want to ask you, please control your mind. How to feel and how to think and how to judge your daily event or daily occurrence or daily happenings. It's very important. The point is the attitude of your mind. It's not objective minded thinking. It's your own mind. It's up to your own mind and your what kind of orientation you yourself have is very important. In real life, a lot of people confront with difficulties, but when, at the time, how do you control your thinking is very important. The key to your golden life. I want to say so. I myself suffer from a lot of difficulties in my younger days, and even now I confront a lot of difficulties. But at the time, I just stop thinking and change my mind to the positive direction. Is there any other thinking, or is there possibility thinking? I asked to myself, and at the time I can find several answers. You yourself have some kind of difficulties or sufferings or setbacks, but nothing can defeat you if you have belief in you, strong belief in you. When you believe in God or in Buddha or believe in your Lord El Cantare, no one can defeat you. So at the time, be strong and use this magical word, magical phrase, I can. It's real power.
Yes. Oh, that was it. Okay. Okay, so one of the phrases that really popped into my mind was, if you can believe and say, I can, you can change your future. Mm-hmm. It's such a powerful phrase. You can literally change your future by saying, I can, but not just saying I can, but if you believe behind it, right? So I think the first step is learning to control our minds. And as this point says, please control your mind over how you feel, how you think, and how you judge your daily events, daily occurrences, or daily happenings.
And he states after this that this is the magical phrase, the key to life's golden secret. Now, let me give you an analogy. Let's say that today is a really sunny, bright day, but on a rainy day, when you have to commute, are you happy or are you unhappy? I think I heard both. Naturally, I would feel unhappy because, my nice shoes will get dirty and it's cold. No, right? It's all gloomy and stuff. However, you can always think like Mariko thinks.
That it cleanses the ground, right? And that the water is needed to clean the air, and it feeds the plants to keep growing and give us oxygen. So what we're trying to say is it depends on how you look at things. We have to be objective, not subjective, when we deal with certain things. Anything can be looked at as gloomy or bright. It depends on how you see it, right?
Simple correction. Be subjective, not objective.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So it's a little hard. So do you understand this? Being subjective, meaning objective is seeing things as how they are from another person's perspective. Subjective means that how you feel. It's your way of looking at things. And that's what counts when you want to have a successful and happier life. The point is, you have control of your emotions. You don't let your environment control you. You're controlling your own mind. And Master Okawa states that in chapter 1 of this book. It's the chapter called, You Are a Child of God. You have the power of God within. And he states clearly that we are the rulers of the kingdom of our own minds. But it depends on us to be the ruler or not.
But I'm sure some of you might be asking, how can we control our mind?
Subjective.
I made a mistake. Right. You corrected.
Subjective, yes.
Yes. So, how can we control our minds? Could you give us some tips?
Well, one thing that we're going to be talking about the subconscious mind later, but in the lecture that we just saw, Master states something like this. You yourself might have some kind of difficulties, sufferings, or setbacks, but nothing can defeat you if you have strong belief in you. When you believe in God or in Buddha, or believe in your Lord El Cantare, no one can defeat you. So at that time, be strong and use this magical phrase, I can. It has real power. So answering your question, when we're faced with difficulties, starting out with using powerful words, simple but powerful words, is crucial. Ladies and gentlemen, crucial. Because we are usually sensitive to these negative things that occur in the world. That's how human beings are. We are very sensitive to negativity. That's why we have to protect ourselves with powerful, simple phrases. And the duration time of the feeling of being defeated, you have to keep it short. The moment you feel down, punch that out with the word, I can. All right? And this is a habit. It's a habit. When you feel down, be like, I can. I can. Don't let that negativity linger on longer than it needs to. Because the longer it stays, I'll be talking about this later, but it's going to seep into your subconscious. And the funny thing about human beings is that we're spiritual beings, and we always believe in something that's told to us in our mind continuously. So if you're always thinking about negative feelings, even though it's a feeling, it's a thinking that is connected to your subconscious, and you start believing that. Human mind is very simple. It can only think of one thing or the other. It cannot think of two things at the same time. You can only think positive or negative. It's very simple. Let's do a simple exercise that we can't think of two things at once. What I would like you to do is close your eyes and visualize yourself in a car, in a freeway, speeding 80 miles per hour. Can you see that? Now, also I would like you to imagine being stuck in a traffic jam, bumper to bumper. We see that a lot in New York City. Now, I would like you to imagine doing both at the same time. How'd it go? Please open your eyes. How was it? It's not possible, right? It's one or the other. And that's what I'm talking about. You can either think of positive or negative. So simple, powerful phrases are what's important. So going back to your question, push that negativity out with I can. And the more you use this, believe me, you'll start believing it. At first, it feels like you're deceiving your own emotions. But don't give up. Keep on telling yourself, I can, I can, I can. And eventually you'll get to a point where nothing can defeat you.
And also, to believe is a choice, right? And so you can simply choose to believe or choose not to believe. You can convince yourself to believe something by saying, I choose to believe this. It really is that simple. You know, a lot of times I ask myself, how can I really believe? How can I deepen my faith and understanding? It starts with saying, I want to, I can deepen my faith, I can understand. You know, we have to put it out in that direction. So it's very important how you frame your thinking and frame your mind. Give yourself a chance to believe. You know, sometimes we see the world as this way, but we feel a different way. You know, we see some, contradictions, but what's real is what's in your mind. You have to really create the future you want to see.
And jumping on to what Mariko was saying and what I was saying earlier, I'm sure you've heard about this, the power of the mind, the power of subconscious, the power of autosuggestion. But who in this room felt that it didn't work out for them? Like it didn't work out. They've tried, but they're still seeing sufferings coming into their lives. Anyone? Yes. I'm going to be dead honest with you. Myself, too. I'm still confronted with life's sufferings. Yeah. But that is why I recently awakened to the importance of the power of faith. Allowing God or the eternal Buddha handling those issues for you. Or I shall say, with you. That's what's important. Heaven helps those who help themselves. This is a simple phrase, but a very hard equation to put into practice. It's important to help yourself with effort, self-help. But also at the same time, you have to have the purity of believing that there's nothing impossible in front of God. And that when you believe in Him, many miracles will occur. To reach this simple belief, it took me probably about 11 years because I have an electrical engineering background. I need to see everything in a way from A, B, C to D, E, and F. But faith is A to Z, or I shall say alpha to omega. It's a simple leap. And the combination of this I can is your self-help. And believing that it will is the belief part, the faith part. And both of these are extremely important. And I can promise you that you all will overcome any sufferings and you all will achieve a 10 times more success if you can just accept this simple fact that you're invincible if you believe in God or the eternal Buddha.
Yes. So let's move on to the next part.
The next part is about 6 minutes.
Even in business world, you can use this word. People who made a great success in their business, they sometimes use this magical word, I can. This is a real magic. It depends on how. It depends on what is a human being. Human being is a material being or a spiritual being. It depends on this choice. If human being, the real human being is not a material thing, and if it's a spiritual being, what you think is what you are. It's a very deep truth, or what you are thinking all day long is yourself. You are thinking every day a lot of things, but what you are thinking all day long, it means from morning till midnight, it decide what you are. Do you understand what I say? Okay. You must know this real fact. And if you understand this fact, you can change yourself and you can imagine yourself in the future. You can imagine clearly, very clearly, what you want to be in the future. And this is a technique, a real technique, spiritual technique, and magical technique of spiritual technique. And you can be what you want to be. So its technique is just imagine or draw a picture in your mind what you really need in the future, you hope or you desire to be. People up to think bad design or bad future, evil future in their mind. I myself, in my younger days, I myself often thought like that. Every time when bad thing came, I felt some kind of bad future is coming to me, and I hesitate to do positive action, or sometimes I think about think over inferiority complex. It means I can't do this. I cannot do this hard work. I cannot overcome this difficult problem. I usually felt like that in my younger days. But when I found this truth, simple truth, if people really believe and think, if they use the phrase "I can," he can change his future. I myself changed myself by this word. When you confront difficulties, please say to yourself, I can. Never say, I cannot. It leads to nowhere. You cannot succeed in everywhere. In any case, when you confront difficulties, please say, I can. Firstly, I can. Next, please think about that. Firstly, I can. We can. If you are asked, can you speak English? Never say, I cannot speak English. It's English. So you already spoke English. So you are liar. So if you can say, I cannot speak English, it's a lie. So you can speak English already. So firstly, I can. You must say, I can, or we can.
Okay. So what you think is what you are. How many people understand this phrase completely? See a lot of nods. Good. If the real human being is not a material thing and is a spiritual being, what you think is what you are. It's a very deep truth. I think in our daily routine, we forget this, though. You might realize it and agree right now, but in the day-to-day, maybe you forget. But we want you to constantly keep this in mind. What you think is what you are. I think it's hard, personally. It's very hard to constantly think. So, we are beings of creation. So whatever we feel and think is already being manifested into this world, right? Mm-hmm. So what you think is what you are. That's who you are. Mm-hmm. So it makes having your own self-image a really important point, right? I think.
Right. So I think like jumping on from Mariko's thing, yes, at the same time, it is really hard, but also at the same time, it's a very hopeful teaching. Very, very hopeful. It gives us hope. It means that even if you feel that your life is not in the right place right now, you can completely change it, and it's all up to you. And so what you think is who you are, and having the correct image of yourself is very, very important. We're going to be talking a little more of this in the subconscious section later on, but the point is to clearly being able to imagine what kind of a person you will be. Clear and descriptive and accepting that image. Being able to accept yourself with a certain amount of salary. Being able to accept yourself with a certain place to live. Being able to accept yourself with producing a certain result. Can you see it? First, you have to be able to conceive it in your mind. And then you have to be able to believe in that picture, in that image. And then you can achieve. Just as Napoleon Hill said, what a man's mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So you have to be able to conceive it first, believe it, and then you will achieve it. And ladies and gentlemen, there is no, it always works. This formula always works. So if you feel that you haven't been able to do this in the past, it means either you weren't able to conceive it correctly or you weren't able to believe it fully. So please check these 2 points. And if you feel that you are missing in either point, that's where we will be able to help you in the later part of this lecture when we show you when we introduce the new sutra to you and when we practice the meditation.
So let's move on to video 3.
Yes, now next is the last video for the ICAN. It's going to be the most important conclusion part. It's about 4 minutes.
Be brave. Don't afraid to make a mistake. Don't feel inferiority complex. Please say to yourself, yes, I can. We can. It's magical words change you. in the near future, yes, you can. I promise. It's the key to life's golden secret, and it's true. I myself checked that this is true. In these 20 or 30 years. So believe in me, it's true. Life is what you think you are, and life is your direction of your mind. It is your life. It decides your life. And in other words, your burning desire is yourself. So please make up your mind. What your future figure, what you are to be in the near future, your splendid future. You must design your splendid, beautiful future, and it will come to you. And firstly, please forget that you are made of material things, and please think that you are what you thinking. You are imaginable power, imagining power. You can imagine, and that is what you are. So if you get this truth, what I can imagine is I am. If you can get this truth, you will go ahead and to become a great man or woman. Angels in the heaven know about this truth, of course. They are good prayers, praying the happiness of other people means the power of the mind is a real thing, real being. So don't be materialistic. Don't be realistic. Be an imaginable person, and please every time look inside of you and think always you are what you are thinking about. It's the key to life's golden secret. Okay, that's a conclusion today. Thank you.
So it sounds like the power of imagination is super important in this case. And I feel like, children, they're so good at imagining things and just purely, honestly, being fascinated by things. That's the kind of purity that we need to have. And when we, want to imagine like a child, what do I want to be when I grow up? We're all adults, but still, we can still become something that's never taken away from us.
And what I feel the opposite of purity is suspicion, doubt, analytical thinking,
Negativity.
being objective, feeling smart. But all this complicates us. We have to be simple and pure, as you said, as a child.
Yeah. And honestly, like he said, don't be realistic. Isn't that funny? Because you can be taken over, right, by negativity. That's why. It's very, very dangerous. When we see like the world as it is, of course, we'll all become negative. But if we have, hopes and dreams and really, really believe, no, actually, this is my reality, then we can keep on and create wonderful things.
I highly agree. And before we move on to the explanation of the power of subconscious, Master Ryuho Okawa, the reason why we showed you a 15-minute video excerpt of his lecture is he is channeling the words of God. So it's like every time he speaks, a new scripture is being written. So we see these books as the scripture, and the important part of this is the belief in his words. He said, what you can imagine is who you are. This is a leap of faith, guys. Can you really accept that truth? If you can accept it, trust me, there's not going to be any room for your mind to be negative. Not a centimeter, not even a millimeter. There's going to be no room in your mind to be negative if you can believe in that one sentence. What you imagine is who you are. And to be able to break this down even more so we can accept it and apply it, we would like to explain the power of our subconscious, which is the second part of today's lecture. So there's 2 points. Conclusions, not conditions, and alpha wave.
So let's, what does that mean? Conclusions, not conditions.
All right, so conclusions, not conditions. Did you know that the subconscious mind is extremely obedient? So whatever it listens to, it will manifest. But also at the same time, it's not that smart. It can only listen to the conclusions and not the conditions. So as an example, let's say that if I were able to do this, I'll be successful. Or if I wasn't like this, I would be successful. It's all the conditions that it's listening. So you have to first tell yourself, I am successful. Just the conclusions. The subconscious will never listen to your conditions. And the conditions come from our rational mind, not our imaginable minds. So we always have to state the conclusions.
So we have a few examples, right? Like
the person you met in Japan.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So there's a person that I met, and he had lost maybe 40 pounds very quickly. And we asked him, how did he do it? And he'd been trying to lose 40 pounds for a very long time. And he kept telling himself, I don't want to be fat. I want to be healthy. I want to eat less food. It was very complicated, too much noise, too many commands. So he tried many things for many months and years. But then finally he understood that his subconscious was way simpler, needed to really make it simple for it to do anything. So he literally tried saying diet, and that's it. Right before he went to bed, he said diet. And he started to shed the weight. Because literally, if you can break it down to one word that you want, I think it's very, very powerful. So especially right before we go to bed and right when we wake up, when our minds are more closer to the subconscious level, that's when you want to feed it affirmations and tell it what you want. It's like fertilizing your mind. And so, yeah, it's a very powerful thing. And I thought it was remarkable, honestly, like so quickly and so simply, all he said was diet. And that's what happened.
And that's what it is, the power of simplicity. And this is just an analogy, guys, but from my perspective, I see the subconscious like a really stupid donkey, but has very strong horsepower. So it'll only listen to simple phrases. It's too dumb to listen to all these complicated, instructions. It'll just listen north or south, all right? So you just gotta tell them north. North, donkey, north. And then it's just gonna go start running towards north. And that's the image I have for my subconscious. And so please think like this. Just think simple and give it and feed it the simple conclusions. And going back to what Mariko just said, she said it's important to feed it in the morning at night when our minds are closer to the subconscious. That's true. When our minds are busy, it is called, when our brains are shooting out something called a beta wave. Beta wave. And that means the thought wavelength is very, very coarse, and it's complicated, and it's loud, and it's busy. That's our daily life's thought wave. However, what's important is to have an alpha wave when we want to give instructions to our subconscious. That's what Master has taught us.
And I'm sure all of you are sensitive to feel, like when we meet people, some people have a beta wave, right? We can just feel it from them, and we feel almost tired from them. But some people have an alpha wave, and you just feel in their presence, you calm down and you feel peaceful.
I have to say, this lady sitting in the front in the third row, she has an alpha wave. Every time I see her, when I look at her, she's got this aura that like makes me relax. You're an alpha waver. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so we need more people like that in the world. It's so powerful. But it really starts with each one of you. All you need to do is literally breathe 3 times, close your eyes, put out an alpha wave, a divine wave. And the reason why it's important is because spirituality and all of, faith and everything, it's energy. And if you can be an alpha, you can connect. That's why it's important. You can connect with your guardian spirits, with God, with divinity. But if you're in a beta wave, worried, stressed, angry, that literally blocks it out and you won't be guided. That's why it's very, very important to think about whether you're in beta or alpha wave. And when you're in alpha, that's when your subconscious really is able to listen. So when you're in beta, they can't hear anything.
Let me explain that a little more from the structures of our souls. So Master Ryuho Okawa is a spiritual leader. He knows how our souls are structured. That's phenomenal, I believe. And he's saying that our souls are like layers of onion. It's layers of onion. So every time you peel a layer, you go deeper into your own spiritual world, which is connected to a higher place in heaven. And at the core of our souls is where we're connected to God. It's called Buddha nature, or from Western terms, divine nature. And the layer that is separating our everyday thoughts and our deeper parts that's connected to God, that's called a thought tape. It's a tape recorder of your thoughts, and it's all recorded in the history of your soul. And the thought tape is very, very interesting. It's sensitive to your superficial thoughts. And the more busier you are, the thought wave is like really, really busy. So then it blocks out the thoughts that goes deeply into your subconscious. And to quiet this thought tape, it's important to be in alpha wave. And alpha wave is a wavelength that comes out, one, when you are not stressed, obviously. Meaning when you are in meditation or when your heart is in peace. And the more sublime it is, the better. And to be able to reach that sublime state of mind every day, that's your shortcut to be able to achieve a happier, successful, healthier, wealthier life. So the next question is, how do we achieve the sublime state of mind in our daily life? Master Ryuho Okawa has given us a phenomenal weapon recently. Right, Marika?
Yes, so some of you are familiar with our sutra, the Dharma of the Right Mind, right? And Happy Science, we recite this every morning and every evening before bed. And this creates an alpha mind, right? This is what sets the tone. It basically filters our minds, cleanses our minds, our environment, because when we recite it with our words, it cleans the air around us spiritually.
And the way I see how that works is going back to that spiritual diagram of our soul's structure. Our souls are like an onion, right? And at the core part is connected to God. This sutra, Master Okawa channeled from a spiritual world called the ninth dimension, which is the highest part of hell. Heaven, opposite. Sorry about that. I don't know why that came.
Going opposite today.
A lot of opposite things going on. The highest part of heaven. All right? Okay. And then the highest part of heaven, if you would like to learn more, we have a book called The Laws of the Sun, where Master experienced what the spiritual world is like and what the world of the divine is. And that's where a lot of the past saviors exist. But that's the ninth dimension. And this sutra came directly from the ninth dimension. Meaning, in our daily life, the best we can do in our positions as human beings is starting from the outer layer, trying to calm it, going to a meditation, doing yoga, whatever, trying to calm it, and then gradually trying to go into the core part of our souls. But if you recite the sutra, you're going the other way around. You are having a direct access to the main core of your soul where it's connected to God, and that is expressing out into your superficial consciousness. That is how powerful the sutra is. And this sutra, ladies and gentlemen, to give you good news, it has been revamped recently. What I mean by revamped is Master's native tongue is Japanese, so he has given all of these sutras in Japanese originally. And so these sutras are translated by the disciples. However, recently, Master Ryuho Okawa gave us this Dharma of the Right Mind in English. He channeled the spirit of Buddha / God. Not the historical Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, but in Buddhism, there's a concept called eternal Buddha, that Buddha. Imagine him as the creator or God. From there, he channeled the sutra in English just last month. And what I would like to do is this sutra, because it's so new, these sutras will be available for our student members, but it will be coming in the sutra booklet form from the beginning of December. But today, because I want you to feel this power, this world of the ninth dimension, Dylan over there in the back, he made a video clip for us where Master Okawa recited the sutra himself, and he made the captions for it. And it's gonna be in a nice video, so you can either open your eyes and see the captions, or you can go ahead and close your eyes and just deeply delve into this wavelength. But we would like to show you and reveal to you this new words of the true words spoken by Buddha or God. It's about 8 minutes, and what I would like you to do is please feel relaxed as if you're going to be doing meditation. I want you to absorb this light.
You know, this is available to all of us, and to get in an alpha wave is only minutes away. And it's so important and so powerful. So I hope that all of us can remember this peace and joy and use it because it's available to us.
And it really does ignite the power of our Buddha nature, the most purest, unconquerable power that you are. Not what you have, but what you are. This sutra, it doesn't help you achieve happiness with the power of your mind. It helps you achieve happiness by the power of the mind. Can you see the difference? With the power of the mind and by the power of the mind. It's a slight difference. With means it's outside of you. You're using something, a tool. But we say by the power of your mind, meaning you are invincible to begin with. Nothing can conquer over you because you have the activated power of God through this sutra. Thank you for, I would like to thank Master for giving us this phenomenal lecture. The main point, ladies and gentlemen, of this I can mentality, this alpha wave mentality, is sustaining it. Keeping this feeling. Continuance is what's important. It can't be a one-time thing that happens at a Happy Science workshop in Midtown every other month. It's got to be a daily thing, or to be more accurate, a momentary thing that you're always connected. And so, to be able to help you truly optimize and to truly maximize this power, which, ladies and gentlemen, includes healing. I forgot to mention that, I'm sorry. This I Can spirit works for healing your body too. Because our mind is the creators of our physical body. That's also the truth. So even for healing this works, and we really want to help you achieve this uncomparable happiness. And therefore, we broke it down into the next steps. If you would look at your next step sheet that we handed out today, it was on the chairs when you came in. We have a lot of events coming up. I'm sorry, I don't have it in my hand right now, so I'm gonna get one. So if you can look at this sheet right here, the next step sheet on the front, you can see that on top, we told you about this earlier, the Invitation to Happiness TV series. You can see 16 episodes of these for free. It's on YouTube and it's on our website. And you can look at it from if you look at the blue fonts, that would be the link or the search to be able to watch this. And right now, we are thinking of a project of having an Invitation to Happiness Series 3. Series 1 and Series 2, they were shown on Fox 5 2 years ago and 3 years ago for 16 consecutive weeks. But this time, we are going to get another 16 weeks. For the first 8 weeks, we're planning on showing Season 2. And the latter 8 weeks, we are planning on showing Season 3 on My 9, Channel 9. It's going to be starting in May or June, to be announced. But please be looking forward for Season 3. Also below that, me and Mariko, what you saw today was our live video podcast. So we have these video podcasts going through newest master's books, different teachings. So you can watch it all on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, or on our Facebook. So again, please look at those two blue links. And then below that, under this line, we have a couple of events coming up. The first one is the lecture on the true words spoken by Buddha, which is tomorrow at the temple from 1 o'clock. It's in Tribeca, and Master Okawa gave a lecture on this new sutra explaining what each of these terms actually mean. So we're going to be watching this lecture together and discussing about it. That's 1 o'clock tomorrow at the temple in Tribeca. And below that, it's the Basis for Loving Yourself Koan Meditation Seminar. This is an extremely deep and long 5-hour seminar to be able to love your soul. Although we talked about the positivity of ICAN, we are emotional beings, ladies and gentlemen, and we are dragging on our past mistakes and past failures, and it's hard to get rid of. Or maybe past mistakes, sins that you feel. To be able to truly love yourself, we will be going over 7 different phrases to reflect upon. So that is next week, Saturday at the temple. And then Mariko will giving us a Sunday service next week, Sunday, not tomorrow, the following Sunday. It's called The Spirit of Self-Responsibility, which is going to be based on the 2nd chapter of this book, I Can. The lecture we saw today was the 4th chapter, and there's 4 chapters in this book, and we'll be going over it because, like I said earlier, heaven helps those who help themselves. So you have to understand how to make the correct effort to be able to receive God's light. So that is going to be next week, Sunday. And if you flip over, we have the monthly calendar for December. So if you're interested, please look at this. And if you have any questions, call or text or email us. And below that is, again, next week's Sunday service, the importance of self-help, the explanation of those. Also, the next steps is not just attending our workshops, but Mariko, if you can explain this membership to everyone.
Yes. So we have this sign-up sheet membership form, and if you wish to start a new life and explore faith in happy science, in El Cantare, which we call God, we invite you to become a member of Happy Science, be a part of the family of Happy Science. And it's important to make this kind of dedication or this commitment. And the only commitment really is to decide to explore. That's all we ask you. Decide to explore your Buddha nature, your divine nature. And by becoming a student member means you want to learn more. It's a $10 donation for we're going to create the new one pretty soon in December. But that's a $10 donation. And then we also have a devotee membership. When you're ready to devote to the teachings, to the Buddha, God, and also the fellowship and be a part of this movement, then we ask you to become a devotee member whenever you feel like. You can do it right away or you can do it whenever you're ready. And that's a one-time $100 donation. You get 4 different sutra books. And also, you can check here. I just want to know more information about future events as well. That's the option. So we give you the option, and please join us. We welcome you with open hands. And you can read more about the student membership and devotee membership here. And yeah, that's about it.
To add on, when you become a student member, you receive that new sutra that we showed today, the true words spoken by Buddha, which again, it's coming in sutra format in the earliest December. So early December is actually, it's weird this year, it's going to be Thanksgiving weekend. Thanksgiving weekend is going to be till December 1st. So we're not going to have a Sunday service on December 1st. On December 8th Sunday, we're having a Sunday service, a gratitude service at the temple, and that's where we will be handing out this new sutra. Also, donations are really, really appreciated. We are working our best to spread these wonderful teachings to everyone, and so that's why we asked for a $10 suggested donation for today. It costs money to rent this place, and also you can help out by doing a pure donation. If you look at this green sheet, this is a donation format. You can start a monthly $10 donation, monthly $20, $50, however much that you can help us out with. And also, you can also buy our books. That will help as our donations. If you, on your way out, there's a book table, and today for special offer, all books of these truths are for $10, including this book, I Can. So if you would like to purchase books, please do so today. It's a great opportunity. And for the TV series, we're having on the internet. You can help us through the donations on the website. And last but not least, for our announcements, as our token of gratitude, we would like to hand out 3 books for free through our raffles. So if you can take out your raffle tickets that you got earlier, I will be reading the last 3 digits. And you can either win this book, Think Big, The Laws of Success, or In the Invincible Mind, which are all related to today's topic.
Congratulations. But, you know, we're all winners today because you all showed up. You know, it's so important to show up and to, you know, expand our minds and welcome any form of positivity because the world needs it. So we hope you can become another alpha being in the world. And thank you from the bottom of our hearts for joining today. And please join us again and again. Thank you.